Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I told my grandson, 7-year-old grandson, that he could fly my new Mavic Air 2 over the Memorial Day weekend. So here he's taking off, and his mom and dad are working out in the front yard on a fence. And so the first thing he wanted to do was get some shots of his mom and dad. You notice the smooth movements he's able to make? But on this particular day, for some reason, you'll notice he makes some pretty jerky movements, and that's not normal for him. Usually he does a nice smooth flight because he has the ability. He's a very good drone pilot in my estimation, even as a proud grandfather. And you can look at some of the other videos I've made where he has flown. But he wanted to get a shot of his parents working out, and there goes his dad. He's going to open up a gate so he can drive his vehicle in there. And so after that, he decided, here he's going to go look and see if he can find some cows in this lot. And so, or some cattle, I should say. And so he went out and looked around for them. And they also gave me a tour of the neighborhood, showed me where the mailboxes were. He flew for quite a few minutes. It was quite a long flight. And so it was enjoyable letting him describe to me what we were looking at. And like I say, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to some of the things I maybe should have been watching close. Because when it came time to land, and he's an excellent drone pilot when it comes to land, the very first time he landed my Mavic 2 Zoom, he landed right in the center of the landing pad. I couldn't believe it. And every time since then, he's been able to land right in the center of the landing pad. And I'm going to leave the whole scenario in here because I want you to see what seemed like a very frustrating time for him to be able to get this thing on the ground. And you notice he can swivel, he can yaw quite easily, and he can go frontwards and sideways, but you'll notice he never goes backwards. And I didn't pay any attention while he was landing. I was just standing there kind of gazing at the screen that he was working with. But you can see he's just all over the place trying to get this thing to land. And I didn't pay a whole lot of attention at the time, but as time went by, it looked to me like he was having a little bit of difficulty trying to make this thing land. And so here he comes out here and he gets turned around so he can come into the, wait a minute, I'm a little ahead of it. Pretty soon he's going to come out there and he's going to get fairly low to the ground, and DJI Dorothy is going to say landing. When he hears that, he heads for the landing pad. Here it comes now. She's going to say DJI, or she's going to say landing, and then of course he heads for the landing pad while it's dropping out of the sky. Let's watch it one more time. Crashes into the nosedives, the gimbal into the ground. And here's slow motion. He starts heading for the landing pad, but he doesn't make it. And Grandpa gets a little bit worried about his brand new drone that's only a couple weeks old. I picked it up and brushed it off, or not brushed it off, but blew it off. And then I didn't want his day to end with a crash. So he's finishing his little snack there, and I'm going to let him fly it again. I want him to not walk away thinking he's a terrible pilot, because he's not a terrible pilot. And he felt bad, and I felt bad that my brand new drone ended up in the dirt. And we have decided, or I have decided, that from now on we're going to take off from the grass near his house. So there he's taking off. And one of the things that I noticed, now this is the old style. This is what I got from my Mavic Mini and my same style for the Mavic 2 Zoom. This is the new style for the Mavic Air, and it's totally different. In fact, it's heavier. He dropped it onto the ground trying to use it, But there's one interesting thing about how the sticks are mounted. In the old style, for the Mini and the Mavic 2, they stick up 3/4 of an inch above where you hold on to the controller. But in the new style, they stick up another 1/8 of an inch from where you hold on to the controller. Now, his little fingers, I figured out now why he could only go sideways and frontwards and up and down. His little fingers just could not get on top of those things, and so he ended up pushing with his thumb, pushing sideways. And I told him, since then, keep your thumb on top of those things, and that might be why he dropped it, but you got to keep your thumb on top of the sticks. Now, longer sticks give you a more accurate control, but for little hands like he has, it's much more difficult. And so I'm going to keep letting him fly my drone, and if my gimbal's got a little glitch in it, that's okay. I'd rather have a drone that has memories of my grandson flying it than a drone with nothing except a brand new gimbal. So I want to thank you for watching, and God bless.